You just had your first senior session. You walked away going, I don't know if I posed them very well. I definitely didn't get those candid photos that I was looking for. Well, if that's your problem, well, I'm going to show you how to fix that in this video and to get images that look like this every single session. So, stay tuned. Senior photography friends, Sean Brown here. So excited to have you on this channel where we talk all things high school senior photography. And in today's video, we just happen to be talking about the biggest question that I get a lot, which is how do I get candid, natural movement photos for my clients that they fall in love with? Now, I don't know about you, a lot of clients in my area have been asking for candid senior portraits or unposed senior portraits. Leave a comment below if you get this request quite a bit. And one of the comments they get a lot is like photos that look like they're in a movie, which really I think just translates to they want some movement in their photos. They want it to look unposed and candid, going back to our original point. That's a request we've been getting quite a bit. And this is one of the things that we do every single session to get images that they absolutely love and fall in love with. So the very first thing that I see a lot of photographers go wrong with is, this isn't a bad thing if you're doing it, but just start doing something a little bit different. I'm going to show you how to change this in like 5 minutes, where literally you could do this your next photo shoot. One of the biggest things that I see photographers making a mistake about is that they come into the session and what they do is they just kind of like start shooting. They just like pick up like right where they are. They go to the location, they put their client in the outfit, and then they start photographing it. Now, there's nothing wrong with this, especially if you meet your client at the location and you're ready to go. Your client isn't. And your client actually needs some periods of time to warm up a little bit. And so one of the things that I do before every single senior session is I make sure to carve out 5 to 10 minutes at least where I'm just sitting down chatting with my client. So one of the things that we do every single senior session is we typically offer, at least for our gals, complimentary professional hair and makeup. So what they do, we go to the salon, we do the hair and makeup appointment, and I will actually show up 15 to 20 minutes early, and I'll just pull up a chair and I'll just sit with them and I'll just chat, and I will ask them questions that are prompts that they've put in their senior style questionnaire, like what are their favorite hobbies, what are their activities, and I'll just get to know them. I'll just start an open channel of dialogue, because guess what? They want this photo shoot to go well. They're nervous. They are very, very anxious about how their photos are going to turn out. And even my best clients are like, I was really nervous and scared for senior portraits because this is the first time that they're in front of a professional camera. So we need to kind of warm them up. And if you can just show up before the session, even if you're meeting them at the location, add an extra 5 to 10 minutes minimum where you're asking them about what outfits they're most excited about, what they're doing after high school, what is it that they're most excited for about senior year. Ask them questions that they're going to light up and relate to. And the reason that you want to do this is because when we can put them at ease, this is actually when your best work comes out. And so a lot of photographers just jump right into the shoot and they don't necessarily actually warm the client up. And we want to make sure that our clients feel like they're a little bit more at ease. They're working more with a friend than they are a photographer. And if you do this, I guarantee you that even just this one thing will completely revolutionize how your senior sessions go, because your seniors are going to trust you more. They're going to be so much more open to your crazy ideas that ultimately lead to those amazing photos that they want. The next tip that I'm going to give you for how to get those candid, natural photos after you've built the rapport with your clients, you've warmed them up, you've basically gotten them in a lowered state of anxiousness where they're a little bit more open to doing what it is that you want to do, is we're going to talk the difference between prompting them and posing them. So prompting, or I'll use sometimes the term directing as well, what we want to do to get these natural, candid poses is we want to prompt them or direct them. We do not want to pose them. Now, there is a difference. And a pose is something that you might have it just kind of like in the, your back pocket, where you're like, all right, do this, or do this, or do, arms above the head, or whatever it is that you do for your poses, or like, hey, put your hands in your pocket. And it's very static. We tell them do that, and they do it, and then they're kind of like standing there, right? You're taking the photos, and they're like, what do we do? What else do we do? And that is a pose. What we want to do is we want to start directing and prompting our clients. And when we prompt our clients, this is where the magic happens. And now typically a lot of these more prompts driven or directing driven, I guess poses, for lack of a better term, it's not like a static pose, but we are getting them into the poses that are going to look great on camera, is that these are typically going to be associated with some sort of movement. And so one of the things that I'll typically do, let's take an example of a prompt of walk away from the camera and look back over your shoulder as if a friend called out your name. So what we're doing is we're kind of painting a vision for them. So one of the things that we'll do is we'll prompt them with that versus just like, hey, look over your shoulder as a pose. Now all of a sudden there's like a little bit more of a story behind this. We're directing them into the pose. Or what we'll do is I will typically link together these prompts in different ways. And so what I'll do is this is more of like a direction, where what I'll do is I'll say, walk to the camera like you're on a balance beam or a tightrope, and I'm going to have you look down, look back up to the camera, play with the hair, and I'll tell them this as they're walking. The reason that we want to string together these prompts or directions is it becomes less static. And when we get out of these static poses like hands in the pocket or stand here, well, it can feel uncomfortable. And I'm gonna throw in like a bonus tip for you guys at the very end if you stick around. But when we can kind of get into these more prompt driven or direction based poses, one of the things that this is going to do is this is going to be more of that candidness that they're talking about. The other thing too is I'm going to always look for a certain moment in my head that I'm looking for. So as they're walking, playing with their hair, I'm looking for a certain emotion where I'm like, hey, laugh down at the ground, smile down at the ground. I'm looking for some like one specific image from that. And that's going to kind of get our in-between moments. So rather than them like standing there, I'm going to have them continuously do the pose maybe 2-3 times with that prompt or direction. And I'm looking for just one image in my head. Now, a lot of photographers will stop, do that same image and be like, oh, stop there, and just hold them there for like 10-30 seconds or so. And now all of a sudden the client kind of starts getting tense, they start getting a little antsy, and now all of a sudden you kind of lost your moment. Versus if you direct them, you prompt them, and you're just looking at that moment and you have them do the pose a couple times, or I should say you have them do that direction a couple times. So like walking, playing with the hair, looking in different directions, we are taking a series of photos, and you're just like basically taking multiple images and just looking for that one little piece, that one little nugget in that photo. Hopefully that makes sense. If you're like, hey, I'm really confused on like what this prompting, directing even looks like, we've actually put together a behind the scenes of an actual senior shoot. So you could just grab that in the description below. It's absolutely free. We'll download it. It's like a 10 or 11 minute video. So it walks you through how I'm posing, how I'm prompting, how I'm directing, and that'll kind of show you how to get those movement photos that your clients love. Now, the other thing too, and this kind of leads back into our last point that I just made, and this is the most important for capturing those candid in-between moments as well, is we want to make sure that you are taking a series and variety of images. So some photographers might try to just get that one shot perfect in camera. I actually recommend taking many or multiple photos of that movement, that direction, because guess what? That in-between moment, you don't know when that's going to happen. One frame might be perfect, one frame might be off, and if you just took one photo, well, you may have missed it, versus if you took 2 or 3, that one photo where it's like the difference between here and here makes a world of difference. Now, what I'm not saying is, I'm not saying go machine gun Kelly on this and like rapid fire your whole session. Otherwise, you're going to have 4,000 photos to cull through and edit. No photographer needs that at all. But for movement shots, I'm going to take 10, 15 photos and I'll go through, and again, when I'm culling, I'm just looking for that one specific moment. So take a series of images, look for the absolute best image, discard the rest, and your world is going to change. Now, the other thing for movement direction, candid poses that your clients really love is you need to have some movement poses in your repertoire. So I'm going to link a video for my favorite poses. A few of those are movement based, but we basically just want to get our client moving as much as possible. Walking, twirling, looking back over the shoulder are just a couple examples. Playing with their hair, we're always giving them something to do. And this leads to my last pro tip. My last pro tip is always talk to your client. So one of the things that I've noticed, I teach a lot of photographers at workshops, conferences, anything like that. The number one thing that I see that separates great photographers from so-so photographers is the so-so photographers don't communicate with their clients constantly. The great photographers are always talking with their clients. What this looks like is basically they've got the camera, and let's say that we're doing like a walking pose, right? So what I'll do is I'll be like, all right, beautiful, walking, smiling, laughing down at the ground. Okay, play with your hair, twirl your hair, look off to your left, look to your right, look down. I'm constantly directing and posing them. What other photographers, the so-so photographers might do is they might say, okay, walk towards me, laughing, smiling. And they're just shoot, 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 shoot. All right, take a photo, take a photo, take a photo. And guess what? They haven't talked to their client since they gave them the pose. Well, the client is sitting there, or I should say, the client is walking there wondering, am I doing this right? Am I doing something wrong? Versus, all right, walk towards me, laughing, smiling, playing with your hair. All right, look to your left, look to your right. Beautiful, amazing. Oh, that looks so good. The confidence that your clients are going to have as a result of you even just making that one little change, their confidence is going to go through the roof. I'll even show them a back of the camera image after to show them like how good they did, because they're like, did I do it right? Is something missing? Well, I couldn't possibly look like all the other seniors that you photographed who look like models. Well, guess what? They're average clients, just like your client as well. So we want to give them that confidence. So hopefully this was helpful in taking your photos from those static posed photos that Gen Z really doesn't like anymore, and adding some more candidness, adding some more movement, and really just creating those beautiful images that your clients absolutely love. So if this was helpful, hit the subscribe button, smash the like button, and leave me a comment. What's your favorite thing that you're excited to try out for your next senior shoot? And if you did a senior shoot and incorporated some of these tips, well, let me know in the comments and let me know how it worked. I'm always curious. So that's it for this video. YouTube is going to suggest a video that you're going to like right here. So check that out. And until next time, we'll see you on the next video.